All right. So good morning, everyone. And today is a day 9, and then we are just starting with the idea or the importance of understanding what is impermanence. So before we dive deeper into uh, the whole understanding of the impermanence, I have to say that if there is only one spiritual principle or the one spiritual understanding, if we can get to ensure that our life is in much more focused and away from suffering and stillness, that will be this understanding of impermanence. And somehow I consider this to be a very valuable lesson for me to hold on, hold on whenever it's possible, and remind myself of the impermanence nature of everything around me. So this is a very important lesson according to me, and I invite you to have an open mind to understand that what does this impermanence means. With that being said, we will start the day with few seconds or a minute of silence. For this minute of silence, I want you to focus on the breath and also one simple thought. The thought will be every breath is a small birth and death. I repeat that again. Every breath that inhale and exhale, it is a small birth and death. Contemplate on this thought. Just close your eyes gently, for a few seconds. Observe your breath. And that is the way we are going to get started. Just close your eyes for a minute. Observe your breath in silence. All right. So now come back, gently come back to the session. So the idea that I asked you to contemplate while you were in silence is every breath is a small birth and death. In a way, this thought itself is a very profound because as you know, the first breath that when we took, that is the journey of our birth itself, the time that we were born. And the last breath out is the where we end our life. That is, we come to an end, that is death. We call it as death. So every breath is a constant reminder within us that nothing is permanent. There is everything is dying and recreating. As we inhale and exhale, if we remember this one principle, that itself is enough that nothing is permanent. When you're talking about the thoughts, feeling, emotion, beliefs, values, nothing matters. So by that saying, it is easier said than done, right? I mean, it is not that easy that we all can follow and say that nothing is permanent. So to do that, we will go into multiple, the levels of it and try to understand where exactly this kind of the attachments or the impermanence as idea that comes into it. So the first thing I want to share is about a quote, which I'm sure the most of you must have seen. This too shall pass, right? Or the other way they say it, this will also change. So this quote, the first time I ever saw was in someone's tattoo. One of my friend's tattoo was this too shall pass. At that moment, I used to think that this quote, this too shall pass, is applicable only for a negative situation or negative thoughts, right? So that is a shift that I used to have is okay, so whenever I feel a negative emotion, a negative feeling, or some kind of a life situation which is tough, that's when I have to see this and then remind myself, this too shall pass. However, the profound understanding is it is not just applicable only to the negative emotion or the negative state of being or a situation. However, it is applicable even during and a constant reminder during when we have a exact thing that what we desire for, while we are completely happy, while we are completely fulfilled, when we are experiencing happiness, that is also a profound thing to believe that this too shall pass. A constant reminder that nothing is permanent, not even happiness or anything, the people in our life, no, nothing. So it's not just to negative, but to positive as well. That's a constant reminder. With that being said, we will go into a quick story. So this is a story of two rings. So when I say two rings, so this story goes like this. There is one farmer who, he's passed away, and his sons, they take over the whole house. And they try to, the son, the elder one and the younger one, they decided to stay as together in the family. As a year go by, they start fighting for the things, and they finally they decide that we will split everything or the father's property and then have a separate way. So they divide all the properties, all the belongings, and etc. And after this, they split all those belonging. They find that they found one a small box where there are two rings. One is kind of a very precious ring that is of diamonds and golds and etc. It is filled with that very precious ring. And the other one is a normal silver ring. So what the elder brother does is he says to the younger one, saying that I'm sure this is not our father's belonging, because he never earned, in my understanding, my knowledge, that he earned so much to buy such a precious ring. So this must have come from generation to generation. So as me being an elder, let me keep the valuable ring so that I can pass it to my future generation. And the younger brother also accepts, and then he takes the silver normal ring. And what happens next is a son, the elder one, he goes through life situations. We all know that the life situation constantly keep changing, right? So it is like the seasons. So when the spring comes in, everything is blooming, and the flowers are coming out, and then it's spring, and there's enjoying. It is a moment for enjoying things. And then when the winter comes in, and then he feels that there is nothing going in the way that he wants, and then he feels almost stressed, depressed, and anxiety, and etc. And that's when he was deeply going through all this emotion. Whenever there is a spring, he's happy. Whenever there is a winter, he feels sad. And of course, the season of life goes on and on. And then he also believed that he has to rely on the external things. Like he goes to doctor, his stresses increase, his anxieties increase, and etc. And this is the story of elder son. Whereas the younger son, when he took the ring, the normal silver ring, he looks at it and then he sees that something is inscribed inside that. And that's when he sees that is something was, it is written that this thing also will change. And he took it in a way that his father's profound understanding of life is this, and then he starts following it. The moment he starts following it, he sees, say, the springtime of his life, when there is everything is coming to life and glory and everything. So he enjoys it with utmost immersion. When I say immersion, he enjoys life as it is. He goes through life with one simple, the back of his mind, he reminds himself that this will also pass. This too shall pass. So that way, he is enjoying himself, being present in every situation completely. And also, whenever there is a winter comes in, when there is things are not going in his way, then also he tells the same thing. This too shall pass. This will also change. That way, he was in much more of a place of neutral. He doesn't get swinged by life situation from one extreme to the other. Instead, he finds own inner balance. So that's the story of the two rings. So likewise, whenever we find an attachment to anything in our life, it can be people, it can be our own ideas, beliefs, thoughts, and etc. It is just going to bring us a suffering to it, because the ultimate reality is impermanence. So we can dive deep and try to understand in a different context, how things are impermanent in our life. Then we move on to an exercise wherein we can practice, is it really make sense to feel that impermanence instead of fearing impermanence? Say, for an example, death is something that most people fear, because this also comes from a place of impermanence. However, the moment we realize that death is it is given, it is, there is no going away from it, then we start living each moment in a fully present and fully aware of what it is. So that being said, let's go to quickly to the examples. And this one thing that I wanted to refer was the to Gita Sharam. The Gita Sharam is one thing I'm sure you must have heard and gone through it. And that is where also this is very profoundly put. And I just quickly just read through it. So here it goes. Whatever will happen shall also happen for good. What have you lost that you cry for? What did you bring that you lost? What did you create that was destroyed? You came empty handed and you will go empty handed. Whatever is yours today was someone else yesterday and will be somebody else tomorrow. So why it is profound is this is exactly what we are talking about as impermanence in a different way of looking at it. So the profound teaching is this. And with that, when we are looking at life, when you're going through the life, sometimes what we get attached to the most is our thoughts. However, thoughts, we know that it is impermanent. When I say impermanent, we cannot hold on to the thought for so long. How long can you hold on to one single thought? Yes, we may have various different thoughts coming in and going out, but then it is impossible to hold on to one single thought for an extended period of time. And you can think about it for a moment. Can you hold one single thought in your mind? It can be a good thought or a negative thought. It doesn't matter. But can you hold on to one single thought forever or an extended period of time? I'm sure it's difficult and it is not possible. The moment you are holding on to one single thought, that also means you're already enlightened. I mean, you are the one who can let go of the disturbance of noise, and then you can focus on one thought. Likewise, when you're talking about our emotions, our values, ideas, everything changes. It is subject to change. People, relationship, subject to change. Our happiness, subject to change. Everything, even our appearance, subject to change. So with that being said, when you go into a little more deeper into understanding with few examples of it, we need to know one thing is this, right? So life is a constant change. As you and me, we know that. It is the whatever we experience as life, it is not the same water. It is like a river that is flowing from one place to the other. Though you would touch the water, you may feel a sense of you being touching, but then the moment you touch it again, it is not the same water that you touched. The water you touched, it's already flown. So that is where the life is at the constant flow. Whoever you and me are at this moment, we are not the same person yesterday or a few hours ago. We are completely different beings. To give you in a much more concrete way of understanding, which we have seen in the past that every 7 years, all the billions and trillions of cells in our body replaces. In 7 to 10 years, we actually become a different person. That is, we are talking about biology and science here. It is not some philosophy per se. It is something that we are constantly changing. So you and me are not going to be the same person 7 years later as well. And it comes to the examples part of it. I just quickly want to run you through and then ask for Q&A part of it. So the first and foremost thing, where we find our belonging. We find our belonging or our rootedness to the physical environment or the earth and other places, right? So what do you think will happen to our earth, sun, solar system after, say, billions of years? Right? So to give you a perspective, our sun or our earth will get absorbed by sun, right? The sun will expand so much that his magnetic core will pull the whole earth inside it. That's what science says. It's not me saying it. So the science says. And the sun eventually will become a red giant. Then it becomes a white dwarf for our size of the sun. And then it becomes a nebula. And our solar system itself, which collide with Andromeda, the neighboring Milky Way or the galaxy. And then the whole two things will become one. I mean, they are naming it differently nowadays, right? So the Milky Way with Andromeda, there is a lot of names. So that is the impermanence of our physical self. It can be Earth, it can be our sun or anything. Then comes the scientific findings. So we all know that the scientific findings are subject to change from time to time. That is how exactly the science evolves. They question everything and they come up with a new profound understanding of things. So there is nothing concrete there as well. It keeps changing. Then we can talk about great civilizations. We know from the history that the great civilization, it can be the Indus Valley civilization or a Vedic civilization, Greek, or Mayans or Inca, all these things, they flourished, literally flourished at one point in time. They were ruling the whole world or most of the world. However, there comes an end to it as well, right? And the same thing applies to even businesses. We witness so many businesses going out of business, the bigger ones I'm talking about, like even the latest news about the IBM itself is nothing can hold on forever. The after 130 years or something, the IBM split into two now, right? They're just going to list two different companies. That was the news, right? So, like a company like such a big as IBM or any other companies, nothing can hold on forever. Then comes people. Our biggest attachment towards life is mostly it is people, places, and etc. So when we are talking about people, our worst fear sometimes is missing the person in our life, the one we love, deeply. And that also brings in that when we are talking about missing those people, there is a story that I quickly want to share. That is about again a mother who lost her son. So this story goes like this: a mother who sees the son is is dead, and she's completely, she goes out of control. She's grieving, she's crying uncontrollably because she just a week before she lost her husband, and now the only son also passed away. So she cannot take the grief so deep, she's crying, and then she's finding can someone wake my son up? And that's when the people around the village, they say that, see, there is an enlightened being that who's visited the neighboring village, why don't you go and see him? So the lady, the mother, takes the son and then goes to Buddha. The Buddha was the one who was in the next village. So when they visited the village, Buddha listens to all the cries and the sadness of the mother. He doesn't speak anything. And then the mother says, can you wake my son? Can you bring back my son to life? And Buddha says, yes, I can bring back your son. But then there is only one small request which you have to fulfill. That is, go and collect the rice from one of the houses, from any of the houses in your village. But the only clause is there shouldn't be any death. So she thinks, okay, what is the big deal about it? I can go and collect the grains or the rice because the whole village was doing farming and people are kind enough to give me those rice. So she goes and asks, and then the people are ready to give. But then she says, is there anyone died before in your family? Then said, yes, there are people who passed away in my family. Then she goes to the next house. Again, she asks. So everyone who are ready to give, but then they all say that there is someone in their family they lost. Yeah, they have passed away or died in the past. So that goes on for a while. She goes from door to door to door, and then she realizes that nothing is permanent. So the profound thing is every house, every being, we have to go through loss in our life, especially when it comes to people. Either we will lose them as they grow up, we may get detached to them, or the other way, maybe a natural, the way of thing is either we depart or they depart. Either ways, unfortunate events it can be. But the reality is the death is the permanence. That is the ultimate thing that we are going to face. So that way, we are going to lose people, no matter what. There's no relationship can be forever. It can just gives us a sense of security at this moment, but eventually, we are going to lose any relationship. That is the truth. It can be with my son as well, right? So all I can remind myself was as he grows up, as I was sharing before as well, every single day passes by, I just remind myself that he's growing. All I have to do right now is be present with him. Enjoy every single moment that I have at this moment, because I'm sure I cannot get back the precious moments I'm with my son at this time. Because every year, if you're a parent, you can relate that every year they grow differently. So that is where the attachment comes in. That is where I feel I have to spend more time with my son. So there comes an ultimate love and joy without any expectation or attachment. So that being said, we are talking about relationship and some part of our competitions as well. Like, people think that I want to be a winner all the time. But no, nobody can be a winner all the time. There is no way. Even for that example, I was just reading about Usain Bolt. So you know that the Usain Bolt lost his final race of his entire career. The final race, he lost. And why? I mean, see, he was a super fast guy. Like, people were like celebrating his success. But during the last race, he lost it. Literally. I mean, he came second. I think it was to Justin Gallatin. So what happens is everyone goes through defeats as well. So that is again a way of looking at it. And then the few other things that we can just look at is everything, be it their thoughts or emotion, is subject to change. So with that being said, we come to the exercise part of today's session. And before that, I want to check with you if you have any questions with the idea or the understanding of impermanence, you may ask now. Is there anything? All right. So then let's move on to one exercise. See, for this exercise, first of all, I have to give you a little bit of a caution. The reason why I have to give you a caution is, so this exercise, I planned it in such a way that to take you to a one cycle of emotion, right? So one is to start with a happy emotion, then to take you to a little bit of a kind of a discomfort zone, I would say, and then to bring you back to the happy zone. So that way, I want to take you through the journey. So it is natural that you may also feel a little bit of uncomfortable during this exercise. So I just request you to be a little more open to it. And secondly, I just want you to think of one place that you attach yourself to. Like, when I say a place, it can be your happy place, like, where you love to spend your time. Whenever you look back, like, oh, that is my place. I always love to go there and spend my time. Just bring that image of that place in your mind. And Shibani, do you want to share something?
No, that's good.
All right. All right. So bring the happy place. Just think of the place right now. Just take a moment to bring that place where you want to be. So for me, like, it can be like one of the country where I really felt absolute stillness or calm was Estonia. So that used to be, I used to say that's my favorite country in the world, at least at this moment. So for me, I would try to go there and spend my time to be at peace. So think of the place. And then I invite you to think of one of your possession, that is something, that materialistic object that you have, which you are attached to, right? Just think of that. Like, it can be anything, any specific object that, or a possession of yours that you are attached to completely, right? So for me, it is a watch that I bought when I sold my or exited my company. So I was that point in time, I was so much with the automatic watches and etc. So that is still I hold it like, as a treasure, right? So something like that. It can be anything. For this exercise, think of it. Think about it. And finally, think of one person in your life with whom you're attached, right? So one person, it can be anyone. It can be any relationship. It can be like, father, mother, or kids, or anything. Just think of one person who you're attached to. So if you're ready, just show me your hands or raise your hands in the with their emotions or reactions. Yes, awesome. If everyone ready, then we can go into the exercise and take it forward. Okay. So there is one place, the happy place that you love to go there and spend your time. And then you're talking about one possession of yours which you're attached to, which you love to keep, but you don't want to let go of that possession. And finally, one relationship or one person you're attached to. Think of these three things. With that thought, let's get into the exercise. Right. So first, make yourself comfortable wherever you are, wherever you're sitting or lying down or any of the place. Make yourself absolutely comfortable. Take a moment. That's fine. As you feel comfortable, now you can focus on your breath. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. Take a few deep breaths in and out and have a soft glance towards the things which is around you. Take a deep breath and exhale. Inhale and exhale. With the next out breath, you may close your eyes. As you close your eyes, you can scan your body for any kind of a physical tension or discomfort. If you find any tension or a discomfort in your body, just relax. Relax that part of you and make yourself much more relaxed. Observe your body. As you get relaxed, now you can scan from your head to toe for any kind of a sensation that you're feeling. Observe. Just focus your attention to any kind of a sensation that you may feel now. If you find any kind of a sensation, gently acknowledge that sensation and allow that to be there. By acknowledging the sensation, now just focus on your own inner state of mind, your emotion, your feelings. How are you feeling at this moment? Gently take a snapshot of it. It is okay. It is okay to absolutely feel anything. Like, it can be positive emotion or negative emotion. Just acknowledge them. It is absolutely fine to have a mixed emotion on one emotion. That's absolutely fine. After acknowledging the emotions, gently look for your thoughts. Listen and observe your thoughts. And it's okay to have thoughts. You don't have to have any kind of a pressure or to put a force to control the thoughts. It is okay and natural to have thoughts. As we know, the thoughts are just the ripples of our mind. It will automatically settle down. By acknowledging our body and our mind, now it's time to focus on our breath and our inner stillness. Just keep focusing with on your breath. In the next in breath, let's go to the place that you thought as a happy place. Right now, you are in the happy place that you want to be in. At this moment, take a time to fully immerse yourself in the happy place that you are in. See what you saw, feel what you felt, hear what you heard. Be completely in the happy place. Bring back any kind of an emotions or the memory that you had in that place. Bring back those memories. For a moment, just you are there. If the memory is so true and vivid that you are experiencing that memory at this moment, completely you're feeling immersed and immersed. You're fully and deeply in that place at this moment, enjoying all the happiness, all the peace and love, and whatever the emotion that you experience in that place, you're experiencing at this moment. Allow yourself to fully immerse in that place. Look for the finer details in your memory. Look for the places that you walked or how you used to be there. What kind of an emotion that you used to feel. Bring back all the things from that memory, from that place. Now that you're in that place or your happy place, it's time that you are experiencing all the happiness and joy and all those things that you wanted to experience. There are some things happening, some things are changing, that you can see it as a witness who's standing outside of the place. There are something that's changing that you're no more allowed to be in that place. You're asked to step out from that place. I know you may find it difficult to go away from the place that of your happy place. But then there is no other choice. You have to let go of the place at this time. You're taken away from the place. And your chest, you are in the border, in that a kind of a place which is not allowed. And then from outside, you're looking at that place. Things are changing inside, in their happy place. As you being the witness here, you're also just waiting for things to become back, where you can go back and live or be in your happy place. You being a witness right now. The days go by, then the weeks go by, then it's months and year. So even now, you cannot go back to your happy place. Right now, take a moment to feel all the emotions that you may feel when you're missing that place. Your happy place is no more with you. So feel how you will feel. Allow yourself to completely immerse yourself in this feeling as well, even in this kind of an emotion, whatever the emotion may be. It can be sadness, or it can be kind of a discomfort or anything. Immerse yourself and look for that emotion and then be there for a moment. Now that you experience what it is to miss or get away from your happy place, now the gates are open again. You can go back to your happy place now. This time, again, you're experiencing the same happiness, the same fulfillment, the same excitement and thrill and etc. Whatever you used to feel. And all this memory is coming back to you as you never missed anything. It's just you're getting back into it. Feel all this emotion back again. And this time, there is only one change within you. That is, you this time become person who understands the impermanence of a thing. That is, the while you were waiting outside this place, you realize that how important the place is. The value of the place, it is multiplied by 100 folds. And now you know the value of the place. Now you spend each moment in that place which much more authentic way, in an immersive way. You don't want a moment to slip away from that place. Take a moment to enjoy and be in this place. As you're experiencing the happiness and the stillness within you, now it's time to hold on and look for your possession. So whatever your attachment to the possession is, you notice that it is lies right in your happy place. You go and you see that. Now it's time for you to take that possession or notice that possession in a way that you always how you used to admire that, right? So just hold to that possession if you can, or just go and touch it and feel it and be with it. Like how you generally interact with that possession. Just be in the way that you love and be with that thing. Feel what you felt, hear what you heard. Look for the minute details in your possession and look for that happiness that it can bring to you while holding on to it, right? Just bring and feel the happiness within you at this moment. Feel the complete happiness and you immerse yourself and be grateful that you have the treasure or the possession with you at this moment. Now that you're enjoying your time with the possession, slowly the days go by and you realize that you somehow misplaced the thing. The possession of yours is no more in your visibility. It has been taken away. You don't know where you lost. It is lost though. You cannot find it. So now go in the quest of searching for it. You try to look in the different places to find the possession that you lost. And just to realize that you cannot find it anymore. It's gone. As you feel that it is gone, it also brings in a kind of a sadness within you, something that you feel unsettling within you. Feel that emotion of getting the possession, the losing your possession. How will you feel? Feel that emotion, feel the feelings. As you're feeling this, you realize that days go by, again, few weeks, then it rolls into few months. And suddenly, one day, you realize that the object, the possession of yours, you find it hidden in a very small place. You just reach out and then unexpectedly you find your possession back. And then now it brings in all the happiness back to your life at this moment. Feel the happiness back. Feel all those memories that you hold on and feel the attachment to that object once more. As you're feeling, this time with the one simple difference is you also know how it is to lose the object, lose your possession. So you hold on to it as much as you can because with one eternal truth that we cannot hold on to the possession forever. Whenever the time comes in, we may have to let go. However, at this moment, we are holding that close to our heart. Spend, admire, and be with the possession with the utmost respect and grateful to be that being with that possession. As you're feeling the happiness, love, and joy by being with the possession and in your happy place, Now it's time to go on and meet the person you are attached to. Bring the person in front of you at this time. As you see the person, look for the subtle emotions within you. How happy that you're glowing, how happy you're feeling inside of you. Bring back all the memories that you're attached to with that person. Maybe from their earliest memory that you have of them. Bring back all the good memories of that person. Live with that memory of the person for a moment. Bring back every single memory and the image of the person in that place. Immerse yourself and be with that person right now. As you're being with that person, you also realize that one of you is growing old, and some way, some reason that you may have to separate yourself from that other person, or the other person may have to go to a different place for different reasons, and you have to allow them to go to a different place. And it's time to say bye. And then you wish them all the good luck in their life and all the wishes and send them off. Now they've walked out of the happy place. They're no more in your memory. Take a moment to feel how it feels at this time when the person who you are attached to, it walks away from you. Acknowledge every single emotion that you feel. It can be sadness. You observe that as well. As you witness all these emotions, again, the days becomes weeks, and the weeks becomes months, and months become years. And it's time to reunite with the person you loved and missed for so long. And the person it steps back again into your life, into your happy place. For one more time, feel the attachment, feel the connection, feel the love, feel the attachment and happiness that other person you're attached to can bring into your life at this moment. Feel the memory, bring all those memories into life and live it for one more time. At this moment, you also know that this separation, this relationship is also impermanent. However, that you hold on to that person so much that you value each moment that you're spending with that person so deeply and you value each other so deeply. And that gives you an immense love and joy in your life. With that, you being in a happy place with your possession, that object that you love and attach to, also the person that you attach to and be with, enjoy happiness and stillness from that place for a moment. Take a moment to be in that place. As you're experiencing all the emotions, the positive emotions, it is time to let go of the place, the happy place, your possession, as well as the person you're attached to, and come back to wherever you are. It's time to leave the place. Come back. At this moment, Gently notice for all the sounds around you. Just glance through the sounds. What are you hearing? Be a little more aware of the sounds and scan your body for any kind of a sensation that you feel. As you're checking your body, gently take a snapshot of your emotion and inner state of mind. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. So if every one of you are back, just comment or just show the reaction so that way I know. All right. So just gently bring back yourself into the room and the space where you are at. So this is an exercise itself. It is to help us understand that how the changing, attaching to the things and detaching also can work seamlessly. Just by understanding the impermanence of the thing, it just not doesn't make us fear or feel sad, but then it can also make us completely be one with the thing. Whenever we get a moment with any of those things, it can be a people, place, or a possession, we value it so much, like no other time the value thing. As we know that most of the relationships suffer from one simple thing. We don't value the relationship or the object we have when we have it. When we lose it, we value them more. We miss them more. We always say that I would have done this and that, but then it is too late. So this exercise to remind us that we have to be present and fully immerse ourselves to enjoy each moment with a one profound understanding that be it the happiness or the sadness or the negative emotion will pass. And that is the impermanence of life. So with that saying, we come to an end of today's session. And I would appreciate if any one of you wanted to share your experience or share your thought about impermanence that can value add me as well. Like I can learn from your experience and your thought. It gives me a value addition. So please be open to share your thoughts. Yes, Tanaji.
Uh, uh, it is said that nothing is permanent in life except change. The life is changing day by day. The
Yes,
persons we are company with, the things, the places, thoughts, and everything is changing day by day.
yes.
That is the beauty of life, like, and we have to accept it.
Sorry, is there any question, Tanaji?
No question. I'm fully
Yes.
agree with your opinion.
All right. Thanks, Tanaji. Thanks for sharing.
Uh,
Anyone else wanted to share? All right. So with that, then we come to an end of today's session. And thank you so much for joining. And if you have any questions, please do post in the group, or you can message me personally as well, and then we can interact more on this topic if it is of importance to you. And one quick request that I have for you is, we went through quite a few topics and subject over the last 9 days. In that, if some of the topic or subject that you want to go a little more deeper, just do post it in the group. I will ask in the group, just take a moment to post it. So that way we can go deeper into the subject and understand if there is any aspect of it which we are to explore. So that will help me to plan the coming up sessions. So I request you do that. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me today and see you tomorrow.